Hello everyone, Joe here with Midwest Military Equipment out of Wash, Missouri. Today we're going to be doing a walkthrough tutorial, startup guide, pre-trip on an Oshkosh M1070 and then the M1000 military trailer. This is a very nice unit. We just recently finished up for a good customer of ours. We're going through finishing up the trailer right now. We wanted to go ahead and do this tutorial video just showing you how to operate the truck, things to check before you operate one of these trucks, and just go over all the different features of the Oshkosh M1070. Service items walking up to the truck, one of the most important things, just kind of layout wise on where everything's at. You've got your two main winches on the rear of the vehicle, obviously the fifth wheel plate, your 3 drive tires on this side, 3 drive tires on the other side. This particular unit, just kind of a pre-trip thing. I always recommend just walking, checking all of the airbags, making sure they're all clean from any cuts, anything like that. This particular unit, we just put all brand new bags on, so that's already been taken care of. Walking towards the rear of the truck, we'll go ahead and once we turn the battery switch on, we'll check all of our lights, run through all of our lights prior to operation of the vehicle, check all the tires, make sure all the tires are good and inflated. These trucks do have a CTIS system. However, that CTIS system, depending on what you're going to be doing with this truck in an off-road application, you might want to air down those tires or air them up, which can be done by the CTIS module, or it can be manually done at each wheel using supplied air. Over here, we'll just start here back at the battery disconnect switch. So there's a information panel here on the inside of the battery disconnect switch cover. Do not pull switch handle with the engine running. So these are DD-Tech 8V92 Detroit engine, meaning that they're electronically controlled. So if you kill the battery disconnect switch when the truck is running, it's not very good for the electrical system. Definitely do not recommend doing that. So we'll go ahead and push this handle in here. It's just a push handle, pushed in. We can go ahead and shut this battery box cover here. Go ahead, since we're going to be operating the winches, I'm just going to go ahead and check the fluid reservoir. We got good fluid in there. Filter looks clean, all of that nature. Over here is the manual fuel primer pump. So if you ever were to run the truck out of fuel, you can go ahead and manually prime the fuel system here. This handle just turns, comes out, then you can lock it back in. You do have an accessory air chuck here on directly below the batteries themselves. To access the batteries, these are the battery box right here. To access the batteries, you need to pull this cotter pin here, as well as the upper cotter pin to release the ladder to get it to swing over, and then you're able to access the batteries. Down here on both fuel tanks, there's a shutoff valve. So these tanks will feed unison off of each other. Right now, we've currently got the passenger side tank shut off. This valve here, you would want to go ahead and open it. If you want to just suck fuel out of the main tank on the driver's side here, which typically, I mean, that's a little over 100-gallon tank. Typically, we only run on that single tank there. It's just a lot easier. Going over here forward, we've got the fuel water separator filter, and then we've got our engine oil filter. This is your transmission oil dipstick. It's just a twist lock style dipstick. You loosen it, slide the dipstick out, check the oil or transmission fluid level, and then the engine oil dipstick right there. Both the engine and transmission take 15W40 standard motor oil. Even though it's an Allison transmission, the military always ran 1540 motor oil in these. You've got an oil sampling port here to be able to pull oil samples. I know some different construction companies, businesses like to pull oil samples off all their vehicles. That's a very simple thing to be able to do right there on it. This right here in the civilian world, you're probably not going to use too much. This is a 24-volt slave jump port. We sell a number of different chargers that go onto this jump port here, where you're able to actually trickle charge the batteries, or if you've got another military vehicle and what's called a slave cable, you can go ahead and take that, plug it into there, plug into your other military vehicle, and jump start this Oshkosh M1070. Raising the hood is very simple. We've got 2 hood latches. I went ahead and already popped the passenger side hood latch, but I'll walk over to the passenger side and show you that hood latch there. So we'll go ahead and raise the hood up. Doesn't matter what side you raise it on. there is a safety pin. So if you notice, today's not a super windy day here. I'll walk back over to the driver's side, it'll just be easier to see. There's a safety here. There's a pin that gets retained up above. You can put that pin in there so that way if you're gonna be crawling up on top of the engine, that hood doesn't wanna fall on you. Definitely recommend go ahead and pinning that in any situation. For the sake of this video today, I'm not gonna pin it just because I'm just walking around showcasing the different features of this engine. Engine oil sampling as well is located right up here. So transmission, back by the filters, engine oil right up here. Air filter location here. Remove these 4 nuts to be able to service the air filter assembly. While we're also on this side, it's kind of a pre-trip thing. Coolant reservoir sight glass. You want to make sure that you always see coolant up there on the top of the radiator assembly. And then walking over here to the other side. So these engines also have a coolant filter. So the coolant filter is located here on the passenger side next to the radiator. It also has 2 shutoff valves for servicing so you don't end up losing fluid out of the radiator since the filter is mounted midship. So you can go ahead and close both those valves, spin the filter off, spin your new filter on, open those valves back up, and hopefully keep the least amount of air in the system. Behind these lines here is the primary fuel filter. So after the fuel water separated filter, it comes up here to the primary fuel filter. And then right here is our power steering fluid reservoir. So on the top of this reservoir, there is a dipstick to be able to check fluid level in it. And then you have your washer fluid tank there. Engine, other than that, really no reason to be climbing up on top of the truck. Sometimes you can access this power steering reservoir if you're a taller guy just from the cab here. If not, a little step ladder makes it easy to get it on and off the truck. Important thing when you're operating these vehicles is grease. So all of the slack adjusters have grease points. The kingpin bushings have grease points. See if I can get in there and kind of show you all the different grease points. You've got grease points on the leaf spring hangers. Always make sure, obviously U-joints, just like any other vehicle, make sure to keep these trucks well greased. There's no such thing as too much grease when it comes to these trucks. There is a ton of different moving parts in the suspension, as you can see with the rear air ride and the front leaf setup. So we'll go ahead and set the hood back down, jump back up into the cab, and walk you through all of the different operations of the items inside the cab of this Oshkosh M1070. So lay the hood down, very easy. It's spring assisted, so this hood is super light. You can see me run it here with one hand. I'm gonna go ahead and get this latched. So the latch goes into the lower portion of the hood, up and over. Go ahead and open the driver's side door here. Climbing up in the truck, as you can see, it's a long way up there. If you're ever needing parts for your Oshkosh M1070 or you're trying to find the VIN number for it or any information on where a pre-check list, it is all on the interior door jamb of the vehicle. So right up here, you can see this truck was overhauled in 2006. That was the contract number for the overhaul. And then this is the VIN number for the truck. It is located right there, as well as the year. So this particular one, VIN number starts pretty much all Oshkosh vehicles start with a 10T, 10TG on this particular M1070. 12 of 96 is when it was manufactured. Climbing up into the cab, it's a long way up there, so make sure to grab onto the handles, getting in and out of the cab. So now that we're up into the interior of the truck, we'll just go ahead and run through all of the gauges. So we've got our check engine indicator, our check gauges indicator, low air pressure, and then we've got left turn signal, right turn signal, and that's a diff lock light there. These switches over here on the right-hand side, this is for the rear NBC air filtration system. In the civilian world, you're never really going to use that. And then we've got an ether start switch directly below it, and directly above the ether start switch is the power takeoff. So this is the turn on the PTO if you run the rear winches on the vehicle. It's as simple as that. Down here, going through the switches, we have the engine brake and the engine brake high-low switch. So this switch is to engage the engine brake. It has got a detent on it where you can't accidentally bump it once it's engaged. And then you have a high-low for the engine brake. These are all resettable fuses for the all the different options of the truck. So like DDEC is for your engine control module, engine brake, all that's all right there. Transfer case range selector is here. Typically we run the trucks in high range, low is super low, and then your Allison gear selector here as well. So to run through the gear selector, you obviously reverse, neutral, there is no park. So all of the parking of the vehicle is going to be done off your standard push-pull valve on the truck, just like any other Class 8 or medium duty truck. If you look at the range selector here, you have different settings. So the different settings on the range selector actually allow you to be able to lock the vehicle in each gear. So if I want to lock the vehicle in first gear, lock it in second gear, only allow it to go first, second through third, I would put the range selector here, just as simple as that, yellow line lined up with there. So right now, if I were to be running this truck, I could only go to third gear. In this position, it would stay locked in first gear. Works very well if you're moving a lot of weight on or off road. Very, very straightforward there. Blackout lights are these lower switches here next to the trailer trolley valve. Blackout lights are not really something that's needed. They're an IR light. All of the lights on the truck are set up for blackout mode. You're not really going to be using that. Wiper switch here. Wiper washer fluid here. Dome light switch. Auxiliary beacon wiring. So all of the Oshkosh M1070s have beacon wiring ran to the back of the cab already. So you can hook up your beacon to it. Some trucks have beacons on them, some don't, but that would be your beacon light switch. These are your marker light switch and headlight switch, and you've got two different settings there on these switches. Other than that, that's pretty straightforward in regards to the operation. Startup procedure is very simple. We're going to go ahead and turn the switch on. We'll wait a second here, and then turn it to start. See all the gauges start to come up. So we've got water temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge, transmission temperature gauge, and then transfer case temperature gauge. The transfer case temperature gauge is a very nice thing if you're going to be doing a lot of hauling. You definitely want to keep an eye on that. Then we've got the 12 and 14 volt side of the charging system gauge, and then the 24 volt side of the charging system gauge. It's not abnormal for these to sit right between the green and the yellow. Typically you want to see it a little bit heavier in the green, but if it's sitting right there on the line, that's fine. That just means the batteries are up. We don't have any major draws. Hour meter and RPM meter there, mileage odometer right there. And then this is the CTIS control module here. To turn the CTIS control module, you turn it to on, lights will come on. You can go ahead and hit start. It will not let the CTIS module run until the low air light is off. So this thing's got to get up to full air operating temperature before you're able to do so. This switch over here is your driveline lock unlock switch. So this is the lock in the front axle. So it's a pneumatic assist switch. I've got it locked in right now. Your air pressure vent whenever I unlock it. Below here is the cabin controls for heat, defrost, things of that nature. These trucks do not come factory with air conditioning. Due to the size of the cabin, they added another auxiliary unit. That auxiliary unit is up here. As you can see, you've just got a high and low. This can be used as a fan or used as a heater. Today, being a very warm day like it is, nice having that on. Over here, we've got the air horn pull handle, and then it also has a town horn, turn signal switch, hazard switch there. This thing here we get a lot of questions on. This is actually, see if I can get a better shot of it. This is actually a steering wheel lock, where if you were going to flat toe one of these, you can take this pin out, put it right here in the steering column, and lock it into the steering column itself. Not necessarily something you're ever probably going to have to use when you're operating your M1070. The seats. Other than that, cab controls, that is pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and kick the PTO on here. So I went ahead and hit that switch there, turn the PTO on. I'll jump out to the rear of the vehicle and we'll go walk through the operation of the winches on this Oshkosh M1070. So walking back here to the rear of the vehicle, this particular unit has the auxiliary winch removed. So typically there's a smaller winch here. That's gone ahead and removed on this truck. That winch is designed solely for helping string out the long winch through the rollers on the M1000 trailer, excuse me. This particular unit, those are already removed. So we'll go ahead and climb up here onto the back of the vehicle. So hydraulic oil reservoir for the PTO, hydraulic oil filter there. These are each independent DP winches, so these can be ran independently off of here. All the control panels walking you through what each lever does is right here, very easy to find. So you've got a kick in and kick out on the winches. You've got an engine high idle switch to be able to bring the engine RPMs up, and then push to lock engine high idle. You can hold that up, run the engine RPMs up on the vehicle. Winch speed, you have high and low speed on each drum, and then control of each winch to be able to run the winches in and out. I'm not going to run the winches today just because we are hooked to this M1000 trailer, but that gives you the basic rundown. PTO switch on, come out here, go ahead and run the winches. So I'm going to climb down off this Oshkosh M1070 now. So we've gone ahead and coupled this truck to the M1000 trailer that's going to be shipping with this vehicle. This particular trailer, we went ahead and installed all new drive tires on. These are pretty complex trailer. They look very complex, but overall they're pretty darn simple. It's just the understanding of how the trailer works and getting it coupled to the truck. So up here forward on the trailer, you've got jack legs. So these jack legs, you can go ahead and set these down so that way the trailer, whenever you're not using it, you can go ahead and relax all the suspension, set it on the jack legs when it's disconnected. You do not have to have it on the jack legs to be able to uncouple and couple it from the truck. There's enough raw weight to the trailer where you can actually pivot. We've got the rear end raised way up right now, as well as the front, and the way that we have the neck configuration right now. As you can see, the rear tires are actually off the ground just because we're finishing up some work on that. But these jacks, you've got a manual crank handle here to be able to raise it up just to help with the weight, pull the pin, and be able to operate and lower those down, get those repinned. Important thing to do, walk around the whole trailer, check all of your tires. This particular trailer has foam filled tires on it. All brand new drive tires all the tires are brand new, and they are all completely foam filled, so don't really have to worry about air in this application. But if you have a standard M1000 trailer, definitely check all of the air pressure in all the tires. You can check brake pad life. There's a removable plug on the back of each of the brake hub assemblies, so you can go ahead and check those. Obviously check trailer lights on the trailer itself, and we'll get up here to where the control station is, kind of where the everything happens for the APU and all that. So go ahead and jump up onto the deck of the trailer here. So this is the pony motor or APU for the operation of the hydraulic trailer. So it has a remote start down here. Engine oil level, everything, fuel level is really easy to check. You do fill it with fuel right here, cool it there, fuel shut off, engine oil dipstick, simple fuel element, and then you can see this is the throttle control that runs down to the control station there. Hydraulic oil reservoir, there's a sight glass on the hydraulic tank, shut off valve for the hydraulics. This is just a cover, I've got it folded up, but the hydraulic oil reservoir, you fill it right from the top there. Very, very simple, straightforward, nothing out of the norm. If anybody's familiar with normal RGN trailers, it's pretty straightforward. So starting procedure on it, if it's cold outside, we recommend definitely using the glow plugs. So we'll turn it over to the glow plug sequence. Make sure the throttle is pulled out just a little bit, because the throttle also acts as a kill. And then pull throttle out far enough. There we go. So you can hear that APU fire up. I'll just go ahead and keep it idled down. This control panel you can shut when you're operating it. It's labeled APU. When you're hooking and unhooking these trailers from the truck, an important thing to know is that the neck actually floats when it's hooked to the vehicle itself. So you're going to run the hydraulics on the neck separate. All of the controls for the trailer itself are right here. So when you're going to be operating the trailer, adjusting the suspension, or steering the tires of the trailer outside of normal operation, if you're trying to make a tight turn, anything like that, all of that is going to be done from this control panel here on the passenger side of the trailer. Everything is very well labeled. Gooseneck lever up and down, suspension pull to raise, push to lower, Same thing there, same thing there. Very, very simple and straightforward. An important thing I want to note to people, so the gooseneck on these M1000 trailers actually floats once it's coupled to the truck. So an important thing here, if you're reading this, it says gooseneck must be fully down or supported before moving handle. If this handle is moved whenever that gooseneck is not coupled to a truck, this is actually, so as I said, it floats. The neck will actually just slam itself down. So always want to make sure before you move that handle or adjust that handle that it's coupled to the truck, because otherwise it will. You've got instructions on walking through how to couple and uncouple the gooseneck. Very, very simple, very, very straightforward. The suspension to raise and lower is very easy. We'll go ahead and lower the rear suspension there. See it going down, trailer tilting, and then we'll go ahead and lower this side as well. Oh, excuse me, wrong lever. See the whole trailer's coming down now. Very, very simple operation. So you can get your deck height set, shut the pony motor off, it's gonna stay where it needs to stay. You don't have to leave the pony motor continuing to run. Right now, since we were just replacing all the tires on this, we've got it raised up pretty darn far. But other than that, that's really about it on these M1000 trailers. Biggest thing, like the truck, keep them greased, check the fluids. Hitching and unhitching is very simple. This particular truck, we've already got it hooked up, so if we wanted to unhook it right now, what we would do, disconnect our blue and our red glad hands, go ahead and get the trailer, lower the suspension on the trailer completely down, go ahead and push in the control lever, or excuse me, pull out the control lever for the gooseneck neck, put a little upward pressure on the gooseneck neck. I'll go ahead and shut this APU off so that way you guys can hear me here. Then you've got two redundancy handles for uncoupling. So you've got this first one you pull out, it's got a D10 on it, as you can see there, to be able to lock it. And then you've got another one here that you pull. Once you get it pulled, I always recommend unhooking the trailers in a straight line as well, because there is an alignment cylinder that actually steers the trailer when you drive. And there's a block, if you notice this fifth wheel is designed where the block there, when you turn the truck, it pushes the block and in turn turns the suspension on the trailer itself. So always try to uncouple these trailers in a good flat spot with the truck and trailer straight on with each other. So we disconnect our glad hands, disconnect our electrical trailer, pigtail for the lights, pull these two handles, get a little upward pressure on the neck, and simply pull away from it. The trailer is so well balanced with the way that the suspension is designed on them that it will darn near sit there perfectly in the exact same spot as where you left it. If you're going to be storing it for an extended period of time, I would definitely recommend putting the jack legs down, which there's jack legs at both front and rear. The rears are a little bit more of a treat to operate than the front. The front is the simplest, and I would put the front down if I was going to be storing this for any extended period of time. If you have any other further questions on regards to anything, all of the manuals on these trucks can be located on our website, MidwestMilitaryEquipment.com. You can reach our sales team at 636-900-9046. In regards to M1000 parts and M1070 parts, we stock a number of the parts. If we don't have them on hand, we can typically get them within a few days. So we're going to go ahead and get this truck finished up, get it shipped out to our customer, and then go ahead and get the trailer finished, get it delivered as well. It'll be a cool package. I'm excited to see this thing put to work for them. So as always, we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our videos today. Be sure to check us out online, MidwestMilitaryEquipment.com. Drop some comments below. We'd love to hear your feedback on this video. See if there's any other videos or any other unique stuff you'd like to see, or more explanation videos of all the different military vehicles we sell. Drop some comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day. Appreciate it.